help cultivate these groups, which are in almost every case, are all volunteer, working on shoestring budgets. But through something called Partnership for Parks, the city gives them technical support and assistance to help them develop leadership and thrive. There are a small number of cases where these groups have been able to attract enough resources and have become sophisticated enough that they've gotten their own 501c3 status and have actually signed operating agreements with the city to manage the park. These are what are mostly called conservancies. The term is used somewhat loosely, and there's about 20 of them in the city. I see that we've been joined by my colleague in the city council, a man who may be familiar to some of you in this room, your council member, Corey Johnson. A great lover of and advocate for parks. I can say that with authority. So these conservancies all have, there's a few things to note about them. First of all, they're all nonprofit. So to call them corporations, Catherine, is legally correct, because any entity is a corporation if it's incorporated. But these are nonprofits who don't have a profit motive. They need revenue to do their work. And they absolutely need to be held accountable. It's why we passed in the city council, I'm very proud to say, the first ever law that requires a uniform, consistent, regular reporting of revenues of all the conservancies, the kind of data we never had in any way accurately. And when you talk about strings being attached, it's the city and the public who should be attaching strings, not the donors. And that hasn't always happened, but the public has a right to determine all the parameters of those agreements between the city and the conservancies, including what the conservancies can do in the park, commercialization, private events, sources of revenue, and I think the public needs to exert itself more in shaping those agreements. But I do want to defend the conservancies as having done miraculous things in some parks, which decades ago were really forlorn. And well, I do believe it raises profound moral questions, because Barry Diller is not going to donate $100 million to a park off the coast of the South Bronx. My solution is to get more robust. My solution is to get more robust public investment in the neighborhoods that have been so long neglected. I want to raise up the caliber of parks in low-income areas, not lower the caliber of parks anywhere in our city.